Hey YouTube, we are painting our pirate ship facade today. I showed you last time. As you can tell. I showed you last time how we carved the wood grain. This time we're actually going to start showing you how to paint it. Well, not start to finish. I already painted it black, so you can see that. That's the part that actually takes the longest. The point of the black is actually to get into all the little grooves. So all these little grooves that you made with the soldering iron and all the little cutouts and gouges and everything like that, that's where you really want to get the black in.
Completely. Yeah. 100% black. Trust us on that one.
Yeah, it might seem like you're doing way too much and it's just like, holy crap.
Make it look invisible. Black.
But yeah, you want everything to be black because what you're going to do is come back over that and with brown, which is the color you want it to look, and the brown is going to make those black lines pop. So what we're going to do...
So she started a little bit over there.
Yeah, so I can kind of show you. I actually use black, and right now I'm using like 4 different colors of brown.
And I'm terrified I'm going to drop the camera.
Yeah, don't do that. This is all the cheap paint. We literally will go to like Menards or Lowe's or Home Depot, and they have this section of like paint screw ups. We will not buy paint unless we find it there because paint is entirely too expensive. Yeah, this stuff is usually like $5 a gallon, and so we don't care what we get as long as it is somewhere in the shades we're going for. My mom scored big on this lot here and got literally like a
This is literally
brown.
Maybe a tenth of it. She had like 20 cans of paint.
Yeah, my mom is a determined woman, so you send her out with a mission and she will come back with 10 times what you asked for. Love her for that. So what I'm doing, actually, this was a paint from last year. This is what I'm using mainly. This is a beautiful brown, but it's actually like a high gloss Rust-Oleum. Yeah. So I'm not using a whole lot of it. It does actually add a cool effect because it's a boat. It's supposed to look like it's wet. So I'm using a little bit of it. But for the most part, this guy right here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm doing with that. This is a technique.
Only a little bit of this, right?
Yeah, a little bit of that and a little bit of that on top. So I'm going to show you what I do. Actually, I don't use much of any of them, to tell you the truth. Even the black, I only used half of this guy to do all of the facade. So just is that a quart? I've used like half a quart. The foam, when you rough it up, actually, it's not like a wall where it soaks paint in. It takes paint really well. And you don't have to, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can still see some of the pink through the black. As long as you get the black in the grooves, that's what really matters. If you've got some pink over here, you're going to go back over that with like 4 different shades of brown. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so here is still black. What we'll do is we'll take a little tiny bit of this darkest brown, and you don't want much. This is a technique called dry brushing, and it means you literally don't like... A lot of times I'll take the brush, I'll get a little bit on it. I usually just use what's on the lid, and then I'll take most of it off. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come in, and I try to go against the grain, because if you go this way, you're going to just fill all your grooves right back in with brown, and that's what you don't want. So what I'm going to try to do now is come back over it, and you'll start to see all those beautiful lines we spent so much time on pop out. I find dry brushing to be like the most satisfying part of the whole endeavor, because this is when it starts to actually really look real, in my opinion. So I'll show you like a panel or two. And like I said, you want to really dry the brush off, because if you do this with too much paint on it, you're going to be right back to step 1. It's just going to be a really bland brown. So you come through, and you will need a little bit more. It doesn't go very far when you're taking most of the paint off the brush. And I'll come through and literally just kind of brush it on first. And then once my brush has most of the paint off...
See how much it just lightened up, YouTube?
Yeah.
Just a little bit there, just brighten that whole section up. On the camera, it just popped incredibly.
This part should do that too. Oop. Oops, sorry. So yeah, I like to do this kind of in phases, so that you don't do too much, because at this point to go back would be a real pain in the arse for one, and you'd lose a lot of your dimension, like right there, a little too much. You don't want to let that dry. You want to get back over it really fast and kind of rub it in there.
Oh, sun flare. Nikki's blocking the sun, which is going right in the camera here. So.
Should I?
No, you're fine. You are fine.
I'm good? Okay.
It's your gourd head.
Oh,
sorry. Sun flare.
Aren't we clever? Okay, so I'm going to move this down real quick just to show you, like, one of the really big knots that we did.
You see all kinds. She's got all kinds. She likes the knots.
Heck yeah. I'm going to pour a gallon of paint right on
Don't do
Joe's
that.
brand new
Thank
shorts.
You.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. I'm sitting here on this dirty, paint-ridden floor in new black shorts. Great.
So
Good call.
here you can see, like, okay, these are parts
Where
that
are you
we
going?
did.
Which one?
I'll go with this one.
Okay.
Remember when we did our wire brush and we came in and we hit it with the heat gun? This is where you're gonna start to see that texture really come out. And remember, this brown is the color that we actually want the wood to be. So you're covering up a decent amount of the black. I mean, obviously this is supposed to be a nice, grimy, dark, dirty brown. So you can leave a lot of the black, but the wood color is what we're actually going for. So you are going to cover up a decent amount of the black. So yeah, you can see how it really starts to make those pop. I'm going to go back down here so you can just stay there, Joe. I will.
Fabulous. I can certainly be stationary.
Okay, so we're going to come down here and I'm going to start to show you guys the next step.
Which the first two panels right there and there you can see we're already done. She just painted this one for you guys. And then it starts to get back into black, just pure black as we go up that way.
Okay, so next we're going to start using our lighter colors. This next color that I'm using is almost kind of like a greeny, gray, browny kind of cheap bin paint, like I said. And cheap bin doesn't necessarily mean that it's not. It's actually really good paint. It's usually the really expensive
this is all like Bear and Ultra and
so
some really nice paints.
I am more than happy to pay $5 for it. So this is when you get into the point where you're literally just highlighting. So you don't want much on the paintbrush at all. So you're gonna come back in and just start to. And I also like to do this one really unevenly. So like some spots I'll do some on, some spots I won't do any, just to let.
Yeah, you guys see how bright that one just popped right there? So what she'll do is just continue to blend that in so it looks more like a highlight, like make sun bleaching a little bit.
Sun bleaching, dirty, like. And you always got to keep in mind too that this is going to be seen at night.
Yep.
And so overdoing it a little doesn't hurt anything, because like last year I did that kind of lichen effect on the front, and in the daylight it looked like I had squirted like mustard all over it. But then once you got the light down and it was dark out, it actually looked really good. It mellowed it out a lot. So yeah, you can see how like that knot is starting to really pop out, because you got the black down in there, and then you've got all the different shades over it.
I'm gonna zoom in on that so they can see really up close. Okay.
So after that, I come back in with an even lighter. This is actually like a really, and I'll do a lot more of that color, but I'm just trying to show you guys like one specific area. I'll do that last color, that kind of greeny beigey bit, over a lot more of it. But I just kind of want to wrap it up. So now I'm going to come back in with this tan color, which is that one, just kind of nice tan. And I'm going to hit, once again, this is just to highlight. So you really want to get your brush clean. But I'll come back in and hit my edges. And you can see, again, it'll just pop that knot. And then,
so I've got you guys zoomed in real close.
With that, I'll
it's
even come back
looking really
in.
exaggerated right now, but when we pull the focus a little bit further back, you'll see it as a whole.
I'll come back in and do like a little stippling, give it even a little bit more texture with just the brush rather than relying solely on what I carved.
So there's what she just did from a little bit further back. So you can see there's a lot of depth going on right there.
So yeah, if you want to take them there. So to wrap it up, I go through all my different shades. I start off with the black. I go to like a dark brown.
So you work darkest to lightest, right?
I work darkest to lightest on this. Now, it depends on kind of what you're doing. Like, there's a section that I'm going to do, this section right here, that's actually going to be... Oh, no, pink,
this
right
one, sorry.
there.
Yep.
It's going to be, like, wood that was painted blue. So I'm actually going to work a little bit differently on that because I did the black. I'm going to do the blue over that and then come back in with brown because that one I want it to look like all those spots that would have worn.
So a finished piece that got dirty. So if it's finished getting dirty, you work light to dark, but if you're going for just nice aged and worn, it's typically dark to light.
Yeah,
right?
And you always want to do your dark underneath, even no matter which effect you're going for.
Think of it as you got to shade the deep parts, and then it's easy to highlight the top with the dry brushing. But if you try to dark, like if she were to try to paint that dark.
After the fact,
that'd
so no
be
matter what, you always want to start with your darkest color. And like last year on the facade, on the interior with the stone walls, I did. Are you on me?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You got a beautiful sunspot. You look ethereal.
I look unshowered.
Angel. An angel.
Let's wrap this up. Last year on the stone pieces, on the interior, I did black on the bottom and then worked through grays. On the facade, I started with kind of a middle gray and worked up from there, and I actually ended up being kind of disappointed with it. I didn't get the depth I wanted. So even on stuff that you don't think, oh God, there would be no black on here, go ahead and start with black, because you can always work up from there. And
so you guys can see then the multiple different layers here going on.
So yeah,
back
if you want to
so
show
like done-ish, very done, just one layer, and all the rest dark. You can see how flat that looks, whereas that actually looks, well, more like worn wood.
And if you want to show them, there's a couple of finished pieces.
Yep, let me grab my shoes here.
The edges are one of actually, the broken, splintery edges are...
Okay, here we go, YouTube. Sorry for the jostling about. Okay,
so
here's a completely
is a couple
finished
of
piece.
More done pieces. You can see all the different layers. I've been coming back in with that Rust-Oleum glossy paint and kind of just hitting a few spots because it's fun. It's not necessary, but it gives it a little bit more depth.
These are those edges she was talking about.
The edges are really fun because you can get a lot.
A little bit of pink up there, but that's part of that blue section, so it's going to be painted. But you get down here, and you can see it's just
all
done.
The different colors. And on the edges, I wanted to leave a little bit more of the black because they're supposed to look charred. It's like cannon hit them. But I love, as soon as you hit those edges with the different browns, it just makes everything pop. So, yeah, this is the part that I have the most fun with, the painting.
And this is the part that I can't do it. I can dry brush. In fact, I taught Nikki the technique how to dry brush, but she is way better at it than I am. But then again, she also has painted, panel after panel after panel, dry brushed.
He taught me the science.
Gave her the idea, she just went with it.
I put the art in it.
So here's an up high. So this is going to be the edge of the ship. It's all broken up into pieces right now. So flat, untextured, or undry brushed. It's clearly textured, black. But just the black onto the textured, dry brushed section. So you can see there's a huge difference.
Yeah, this is that part when you start to be grateful you made it a little cartoony in the last step.
See how it's just popping like crazy? And when you get further back, it doesn't look absurd. It looks worn. It looks real. And the pink bits, we know that there's a pink bits. She's actually carved 3D pieces. So those will be going in those places and painted. So don't worry, Nikki knows what she's doing.
See, like this will go over there.
Of course, painted to look, you know.
Yeah, these ones I'm actually gonna do like wood, but with like a gold finish. So like a gold rub on them to make them pop more. The whole ship is gonna be like gold, blue, green, and red kind of. The stained glass that I'm doing in here will be like green and red and yellow and blue.
So clearly not done and done. Not done, done, not done.
Really,
done.
really not done. Minimally done.
Really, really not done.
Getting...
Minimally done. Complete.
So yeah, it's cool to show you guys what you can do with a piece of pink foam, because there really is, I mean, there's just so much you can do with it, and you don't think that you're ever gonna make it look like anything, but I mean, obviously right here we've got stone walls, wood walls, all kinds of...
Stone wall back there, same technique.
Same exact foam.
As to the wood technique. Any advice you'd give first time foam carvers and painters with the dry brushing technique?
Relax. I still freak out about it. I still I've actually been putting off this process because, I mean, even this piece I did and I worried. And then a week later, I do some more, and I still worry. I worried way too much.
Yeah, and it's gonna look just damn fine.
Yeah.
See, I'm more worried than anything because I have to light this thing to make it look fabulous. I gotta show off all the work she put into it. Here's the edge. Edge of the ship, the far, far, far left side, but you can see a little bit of the dark or the glossier paint there she did for like highlight notes. And right now on the camera here they're looking a lot more poppy than they actually look in reality. I've got the F setting up a little high.
And again, you got to keep in mind that this is all going to be viewed at night in the dark. I've even come out here to look at it at night, and it's much flatter already, which kind of disappoints me. You put all this time into these beautiful highlights and lowlights, and then you turn the lights off.
And that's where the lighting comes
So
in.
people,
I'm working on that one.
If you go to local haunted houses, appreciate the time and work that they put into this stuff, because, I mean, we haunt designers spend just hours and hours and hours and days and years and months putting so much time into this design, and then they turn all the lights off and they chase you through it.
So you can't even get
Yeah, so you can't even take the time to look around. So, you know, if you're going through a haunt, be sure to look around and enjoy the scene, and it's so much of what makes it.
I always get in trouble at haunted houses because I spend way too much time gawking.
Yeah, he's like the slowest.
I'm that guy.
I love it because I love the sets, obviously. So I'm the one that's like, hey, let those people go around us.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
You can go first. No, it's fine. Go, seriously. I want to go slow.
Cool.
That's all I got for now. If you guys have any questions, obviously, on the painting techniques, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And we'll get back to you. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned some stuff. For the stone that you're seeing behind there, we didn't get a chance to do the tutorial on that last year. Very similar technique though. Just the
pull
bottom
back here,
layer.
you can see all that. I mean, like that looks like our pallet wood. So that right there is old pallet wood. That's a new pallet, old pallet wood.
Shit wood.
You can see how it, I mean, it looks, when you step back just a step or two, all the really, really deep ridges that are, if you're right up on close, you know, it looks a little bit, you know, cartoony, but once it's painted and you step back, it's correct. It's completely actually the way it ages. Sorry for the fan in the way I'm trying to hold it up and focus at the same time. Oh, it's fine.
Ooh,
there we go. Look at that.
But yeah, with the stone, I actually got a lot of the texture with a torch and a lighter. If you go like all those edges where you see just kind of the subtle grooviness.
Up top, way up top.
Yeah, that was all done with a lighter. It just kind of indents it. And then same technique, dry brushing, dark to light, so.
Cool, YouTube. Thanks for watching. And in the event you have a skeleton in your garage, stick them on a bike post. Works great.
He had a very, very unfortunate accident.
Yeah, talk about a weird bike accident, so.
That was a bummer.
Cheers, YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.